edition of the Coach's Corner. We are live here at Jones Assembly of God. Thank you to JAG for hosting us tonight, just letting us use their space. They're one of our sponsors for the Jones Journal broadcast of Jones High School football. And tonight we got a special guest with me in the Coach's Corner, Coach Quinn. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing really well. Now, for those that maybe don't know you as well, let's tell a little bit about you. You've been around Jones for a few years.
I've been here a little bit. I've been here. This is my 26th year here at Jones, and how I got here is my high school coach got the job way back in 1995, and he asked me, he knew I wanted to get into coaching, so he asked me if I wanted to come and help. I thought, I could do that for a year, and so 26 years later, we're still here. So it's been a great place to be. Seen a lot of changes happen in this town and our school, and things that are coming up down the road for changes for our school. It's an exciting place to be, and also helping win football games. That's also a fun thing to do too. So.
Very good, very good. Now you're the defensive coordinator.
Yes, sir.
Last time we saw Jones on the field, the defense had a pretty good performance.
Yeah, played really well. We got back, and I think Coach Martin has talked about this. We got back after the Lincoln game to playing more one-way guys instead of having them go offense and defense, and that's what we've built our program on, and that's how we've maintained success over the last decade or so, because we don't demand our kids to play 160 plays a game. And in the Lincoln game, we did have some guys play 110, 112, 20 plays, and you're not as fresh and not going to be as good at the end of that. And last week we got back to the really one-way guys, and we played a whole lot better. Simplified some things too. Sometimes you get these great ideas and you think they're going to work out great during the game, and in the middle of the game you realize if you go back to your base stuff, that's really where you need to go, and make it simple. And that's what we did last week, and allowed them to play and play fast. And if you just giving up one touchdown to a team, doesn't matter who you're playing. You got to play well to keep teams shutouts. And we played really well, and I was really proud of our guys. So.
Yeah. So you've been here 26 years. How would you rate this season and this off season as far as being a unique year with that? Tell me some of your experience with that, with just the everything else that's going on.
Well, and I coach also. I'm the track coach, the boys and girls track coach. I help with girls basketball, and this whole thing started with us driving. I was driving the bus to the state fairgrounds for us to go play in the state tournament, and we're 10 minutes out of town, and we get a call that says we're not playing, and I guess it went all downhill right after that. It's been so unusual. I mean, we were able to get Summer Pride going after a 2-month layoff, and had to ease into that and get these kids just back in the routine of doing something athletic, moving, because as much as people wanted to try to do it, and the same way as everybody else, you just you weren't doing a whole lot of exercising or moving or anything. All it was get up, get out of bed, and go to the couch, and had to ease those kids into that. And I felt it just starting practice. I wasn't in very good shape to get through practice. So I know for those kids, that 2-month period to get that Summer Pride going was very important. But as far as how this has gone since March, it's just every day seems like there could be something new. I mean, because there's been 20-plus games the last 3 weeks that have been canceled. And, we come to a school on Monday to play Lincoln Christian the first time, and we get the call that we're not going to play. And so now we got to wait another week. Now our open week is a different week, and now we're playing 8 weeks in a row. And now also it's every day, there were games last week that were canceled during pregame warm-ups. So you never know what's going on and what's going to happen, and there's no right or wrong way to approach it. I think you just kind of got to go with the flow and be ready to adjust as you go on. And that's kind of the coaching aspect of it anyway. You have a plan, and then you have another plan. So you always have to have that second plan, because the first plan usually won't work. So.
Well, let's look forward a little bit to the game tomorrow night. So traveling up to Chandler.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking a little bit before we started recording. Chandler likes to run the ball. They've got a home run threat.
Yes,
He's had touchdowns of 83 yards, of 76 yards this year. He's a threat to take at any time. So tell us a little bit about that and what you do when you know you've got a home run threat on the other side.
Well, you do the best to keep a guy like that contained. I mean, you've got to play with a very high intensity level, a very high effort level, because that guy can go in any moment. At any play they run, he can take it to the house. And what I tell our defensive guys all the time is, on offense, they can have a bust on a play, and generally they're going to get to run another play. If we bust on a play on the defensive side, usually the guy's going for a touchdown and we're behind now. So, a lot of it is going to be the approach, the intensity level, the ability to tackle well, and that all comes from the mental focus on how we have to play tomorrow night. And, the other part is being physical and being able to wear them down a little bit with our physicality, and that'll be a big factor for us too. If we're not where we're supposed to be and we give up a couple of big runs, then it turns into a long night that way. But we're confident in what we're doing. We're pretty excited about it. We're looking forward to it because the last couple of years in our district, honestly, our district play hasn't been the most rugged. And the district we're in now, the teams are way better, way improved. And Chandler gave us a good game last year, and they're better this year than they were last year. So it's fun to get ready to go play quality opponents.
You talked about that mental aspect of the game. Now, how do you get your players focused on a road game when you're outside of your normal routines? And
well, sometimes road games are a little bit easier. Coach Martin has, over the years, we've gotten what we're doing down to a T from a time standpoint and the routine. The routine is what it's all about. We're going to show up at this time, and then we're going to have team meetings and defensive meetings, offensive meetings, and at this time we're going to go out in the field. And all the kids know that. And with that organization and with that routine, it's easier to get a little bit more focus in because you know what to expect, and you know when it's time to go and take the field and go be ready to do that stuff. And sometimes at places it's a little difficult more than others because of facilities, to be honest. We're trying to, if you try to cram 65 kids into a really small locker room, then you got to make the adjustment again. So, but the routine and those kids knowing what to expect on a road game, that's really how you get that mental focus started.
Very good. Well, Coach, we've got just another few minutes here. Any other words of wisdom you want to share with our audience?
No. I don't know if I've ever been accused of having words of wisdom, but I've told you before, I appreciate you guys doing this. It's just one of those step ups in our program and to improve things and to make it a high class, quality program, not just for football, but for our entire school system. And, if we can always keep raising expectations, then things will always get better. And sometimes people get caught up in this is how we've always done it, and this is how we'll always do it. But we always challenge our kids, challenge ourselves as coaches to try to do new things, try to expand our horizons and reach for new goals. And honestly, having a show, having our games broadcast, like I told you, my mom gets to watch them this year because of all the craziness, but she gets to stay at home and watch our games. And just being able to do that, it keeps bringing our school system and our program up to a higher level. So that's really, we're always just striving to be better.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time to join us and
No
talk
problem.
tonight. And good luck tomorrow night
Thank you.
as the Jones Longhorns take on the Chandler Lions.
All right, appreciate it.
And once again, another thank you to Jones Assembly of God for letting us film here tonight. One of the sponsors of Jones High School football, the broadcast. And so tune in tomorrow night at 7 o'clock as the Jones Longhorns take on the Chandler Lions. And that will be the Jones Journal broadcast of Jones High School football, brought to you by Go Wireless.